Today we will talk about Myanmar, so don't skip this video. Dear friends, a 4.3 magnitude earthquake hitting in Shewebo, the city of Myanmar. The quake struck at March 25th, 2023 at 12:03 p.m. local time. The location of the earthquake is 24 miles west-northwest of Shewebo, Myanmar. The main targeted region is Myanmar. Latitude of the earthquake is 22.66 degrees. Longitude of the earthquake is 95.32 degrees. The quake had a depth of 6 miles. Dear friends, the significance of the earthquake is 284. Some local NGO were saying that magnitude is 7.0, but when viewers look at the real facts, the report of the Myanmar Meteorological is 4.3 magnitude is absolutely correct. So dear audience, please share this video, subscribe our channel, and type a one comment from
are aligning yourself properly with the universe, vibrating on a high frequency. What does that mean, vibrating on a high frequency? That means you're thinking with love, not thinking with hate. You're thinking with power and love, not fear and weakness. And when you do that, that puts your DNA scientifically at a high frequency.
Every question that we ask is answered by the universal law. Many people ask disempowering questions. What's wrong? Who's to blame? Why me? The universe will answer those questions. And it'll take you down a downward spiral of more and more limiting experiences. But if you ask a higher question, what gift am I to give? How am I to contribute to the world? What does my soul want? You see, because everybody's perception is clouded. What good is present that I cannot see? You ask these kind of questions, activate your intuition, activate your gut feeling. Things will begin to occur to show you other possibilities and other potential that's always there, but you couldn't see it because you're asking the wrong questions, you see. And so now you're starting to hear more from the depths of your soul rather than from how you have been miseducated by the world.
Are led to slaughter. Left wing, right wing. I don't care what tunnel you walk down, your head's going to get chopped off at the end of that tunnel. I'm the president. I am the president. And you need to become your own president. Stop voting and putting your faith and hopes into all these people out there on the outside. Start putting faith in yourself. I have the ultimate belief and faith in me, in my own self, in my own powers. And I execute those powers on a daily basis. I don't care who's running this and who's running that, who's got this law and that law. I'm going to maneuver and do what I got to do the way I'm going to do it. Because I'm the president, period. And that's the way I walk around everywhere I go. With my chest popped out, my head popped up, letting people know I'm in charge. I'm in charge of me and my life and my family, period. And when you get that kind of mindset, that's when your life is going to change. But as long as you keep giving your powers away to these people and having faith in these people, you're not going to really truthfully live the true fulfillment of life that you really wish you had. A civilization that they built an Atlantean civilization on this planet. And I personally believe after many decades of research and investigation, reading over 1,000 cylinder scrolls, tablets, papyruses, ancient texts, and so forth, visiting with ancient sages and wisdom keepers and archaeologists all around the world, my personal hypothesis now is that it's not just Earth that was Atlantis. It was also the moon and extended all the way to Mars and maybe even beyond. They were an interplanetary civilization, not just a ring city in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that sunk. That was just one capital of many capitals that existed on this planet.
With great care where their information comes from, the source for the information. And this is because by refusing to present certain information and by influencing people to dismiss, to dissuade them from looking into certain information because they're telling you that it's unimportant or unnecessary to consider, many modern institutions like media, like so-called education institutions, are seeking to actually control human perceptions. Or let's call it outright what it really is, to control the mind, okay? And therefore, to limit what human beings may even come to understand, and therefore by limiting what they are coming to understand, they're actually limiting what they're able to do, what they're able to change, what they're able to create in the world.
The powers that be are about to do something that might risk the future of mankind. Just to hint at it, you will begin to see UFO-related stuff a lot in the mainstream media. Because they are preparing us for a new type of control game. Because when mainstream media takes a narrative, know that they are about to build the masses up for something. And it is usually via fear-mongering. The goal is to suppress consciousness. Because free-thinking man is out of control, which is unacceptable for the system. Rising in consciousness is the only solution to break free from the system. Because you can see their game and choose not to play.
Divide and conquer tactic that has been going on for eons. We also implement that in our educational system, whether it's religious education, scientific education. The reason why I love spirituality is because it takes a look at both. It takes a look and says, you know what? There is only one divine spirit. There's only one consciousness. And the quantum physics explains how it works. When you look at the quantum mechanics and quantum physics, you begin to see what's happening behind the veil. You begin to realize, oh wow, this is pretty interesting. What we can see here is that the spirituality that is being explained by quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and it also is explaining our state of reality that we're experiencing in this third dimension, in this corporeal body. People don't have the time to dig into that, to research that, to study and learn it. That's why I do a lot of workshops and classes on that exact topic, to teach people that you're spiritual. And let me show you the science behind the spirituality. Let me show you how.
I'm not saying go to spirituality. I'm not saying go to spirituality. I'm saying be spiritual, because you are the spirit. Be who you are, the spirit. Be that energy that you are. That's a part of the energy that is actually one with you and you, because you are part of it and it is part of you. It's an energy. A vibration means energy. That energy is what transferred you. And you chose to play this game.
These laws really became the Kemetic principles initially, then they became known as the Hermetic principles later by the Greeks. And these principles, these laws, they govern the entire universe. And these laws are unimmutable, according to Thoth. And these laws really, if you analyze them, they are what we now are talking about in quantum physics and quantum mechanics. And the first law is that all is mental. So this entire universe is one giant mind, and everything exists or starts with first the mind. And to prove this, the device that I'm using to talk to you and see you and speak to you right now and vice versa, it all started off as a thought in a mind, a conscious thought that was on a multi-dimensional platform, which then at some point went to a 2D platform where it was drawn out either by hand or on a computer. And then from there it was given to an engineer to turn it into a 3-dimensional object that can maneuver in space-time. And now we have a 3-dimensional object that we can communicate through. It's interesting. Know, old man, that light is thine heritage. Light is your heritage. In other words, light, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, love is your birthright. It's your birthright. The problem is when we're born, like you heard me say so many times, you're given a name, a race, and a religion, and you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity. You truly never know who you are. You have no clue who you are. You're only basically saying, this is who I am based on what other people told you are, and who you are, and what you can and can't do. The school system steals all your originality and creativity, turns you into a robot. The job force takes the last little bit you have left and makes you into a zombie. And then you wait to die so you can live. That's not what it's all about. What Thoth is saying here is light is your birthright, forbidden knowledge. It's your duty and your job now to seek the light and to live now.
To awaken, our psychic abilities start to come online. So today I'm going to be covering the most prominent signs for how you can tell that your third eye is starting to open. In my video, How to Unblock Your Third Eye, I talk about how the third eye will naturally begin to open on its own the more that we raise our level of consciousness into the state of oneness. So it's going to be an organic feature that happens a part of our spiritual awakening journey. In fact, it will not be able to unfold into a full-blown spiritual awakening journey without the third eye coming online on its own. because it becomes a feedback loop at a certain point. The more that we raise our level of consciousness, the more the third eye opens, and then from there, our spiritual awakening journey now becomes deeper and unfolds and expands larger. So it's this paradoxical or resourceful feedback loop that happens to where the more that we awaken our consciousness blossoms and then begins to propel us into larger people.
People become worshipers right away because we have this gene in us, this worship gene, which was inserted into the human genome. We know this now because scientists have actually found the worship gene. You can turn it on and they can turn it actually off. What? Yes, this is have a worship gene. Worship gene. That's right. And so it makes us want to worship something outside of ourselves, where in true reality, we should find the power inside. And this was inserted by the Anunnaki. This gene has been found, but it's happened around 200,000 years ago. Now, something else happened around that same time. Chromosome number 2 in the human body was pulled out, fused together, and then 2 telomere caps are put on each end. Telomere caps have our genetic material that allow our cells to replicate. It has the biological buffer material in it. When the buffer material runs out, that's when your body starts the death process. Now,
So around 200,000 years ago, the demon Nephilim, snake devils, shape-shifting demons, mess with your DNA, some people's DNA, and including children's DNA too, and made your lifespan shorter, and give you a worship gene. Was they said they brought spells, right? And magic. When they came the second time, there's the spells and magic. They took away your disc, which is really nothing but a piece of your body, but we call it disc for lack of better terms. But that was a memory bank. That was part of your brain. That's right. Now what's happened is that you're remembering all this stuff, and soon they will come back because your DNA is going to activate. You get all that back. But the devil did this to trick you into worshiping. All religions and looking for somebody to come save you and all that stuff is worship. The fact is, the energy source transferred us, so therefore the energy source, y'all like to say created, but the energy source made sure we was like it, because what you come from is what you like. Now, see, the devil came with his buddies, and the physical sense made it so that you would have a lifespan. You were never supposed to have a lifespan. You're supposed to live forever. This is why you keep coming back. Just in, a body, you keep coming back. You keep transferring back because you're supposed to live forever. You see what's going on? How the devil has been living off of your energy, living off of you like a battery.
Play the game for a while of forgetting who you are, because you need to forget who you are in order to remember who you are from a new point of view. You have to wipe the slate clean in order to have a truly new experience, because if you exist only in a timeless state, there is no change, there is no growth, there is no discovery. So you play the game of imposing on yourself these kinds of blinders to forget that you are in fact infinite, to forget that you are in fact eternal, to forget that you are in fact all that is, so you can play the game of not being all that is and explore and discover new perspectives of yourself, and that's what allows all that is to grow and expand forever and ever and ever. Decided here and now to play the game for a while of forgetting who you are, because you need to forget who you are in order to remember who you are from a new point of view. You have to wipe the slate clean in order to have a truly new experience, because if you exist only in a timeless state, there is no change, there is no growth, there is no discovery. So you play the game of imposing on yourself these kinds of blinders to forget that you are in fact infinite, to forget that you are in fact eternal, to forget that you are in fact all that is, so you can play the game of not being all that is and explore and discover new perspectives of yourself, and that's what allows all that is to grow and expand forever and ever and ever. I don't believe in God because I don't believe in religion.
And the fact of the matter is, and I've said this 1,000 times, but some people are just finding me for the first time, I believe in a creator of the universe, of the multiverse even. Because why? My studies in quantum physics have showed me that there is proof and evidence that we are living inside of a creation, that there is a creator of all, and that this creation is imbued with divine energy. And that divine spark that created everything in the entire multiverse is in every single atom in my body. And because of that, I am divine and the divine is divine. So that means I am God and God is me. We are all God walking in the flesh. As a matter of fact, God is experiencing what it's like to be a human being in the third dimension, walking in the flesh through each and every one of us. Through each and every one of us. There's only one entity. There's only one consciousness. So it's a self-preservation.
Decided here and now to
I'm going to be covering exactly
wake up. Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. We have a moral burden to bear, and that's the adventure of our life.
Grind it out now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to set up the foundation so I can enjoy myself later.
If you fail on Monday, the only way to failure on Monday is if you decide to not progress from that.
Nobody's talking about you, but keep making plays. Right. I know your sales numbers aren't where your friend is, but keep making plays. I know nobody's talking about you, and you're not on the leaderboard right now, but baby, keep making plays.
I'm about to tell you tonight because you never looked into it. You never dug into the original version of the biblical text and sourced the material and where it came from. You didn't break it down into Aramaic like I did, into the original tongues to figure out what the original text that was converted into some of the testaments were saying. You didn't look at the Torah. You didn't learn Hebrew and break down the Hebrew text to find out where the Torah got its information and then break those down into even more ancient texts to see what the source material was. You just took it hook, line, and sinker. You know what? This is what I got to do because everybody told me I had to do it. If I don't do it, I'm going to suffer for eternity. So this is a big part of why I do what I do. It's about education. It's about awakening. It's about showing people that before you jump head first into something and stay with it for the rest of your life, maybe you should take a pause and drop some of that fear and start digging a little bit deeper just so you can get a better understanding. And then after that, if you still feel that that's the thing for you, phenomenal.
Cells in your body and your subjective mind does not know the difference between something that's actually happened or if it's in your mind and your emotional body. So when you begin to take that on, you start to act differently. You start to speak differently. You start to walk differently. And then what happens? The universal presence, through its law, matches that vibration and things begin to change in your mind.
If you want to focus on something to become your reality, you first have to focus on it, but then figure out what is the action that's going to help you get to that end result. And if you can find the action needed and then take that action, the end result is going to come to you. And it's going to also open other new doors, other new avenues in your life that you never thought existed. And then you'll be able to manifest those things that you need and want. They'll come right to you, right when you need them, and you'll be able to walk in abundance 24/7. Understanding that if you want to focus on something, when a more advanced civilization meets and engages a less advanced civilization, the less advanced civilization will deify the more advanced civilization. It's called a cargo cult. And what you have here on this planet, you have humanity, which is one gigantic 8 billion person cargo cult. That's what we've become. And the deities and everything else that we're worshiping and praying to are not the creator of the universe. There is not one book that exists on this planet, and I've gone through so many more to go through now, don't get me wrong, that is authored by the hand of God itself. I don't want to say him because him would be an incorrect terminology. You don't give a creator of a universe a gender. There is no gender. God is a frequency. When a more advanced civilization...
In other words, the fallen ones are more advanced and they came and told you that they were the most high. When an energy source is a frequency and frequency is energy, and that's what you are, because energy, the frequency, the energy is a part of you and you are part of it. Therefore, you are one. You are part of it. It is all in all its people. Do you get it? That's why it warns you about the Walking Dead, because the others don't have it. So don't do what they do. They worship outside entities. We don't. We look from within, because the truth is that they know the energy is in us. Therefore, we don't have to look to an outside source. Look for the inside source. An inside source, that energy that is a part of you, that transcends you, that is a part of you. You are part of it. Therefore, you are one with it, has all the answers to your questions. Stop falling for the hijack.
What do you see? I see a story.
I just wanted to do a quick video, an introduction of myself. My name is Johnny, man. You're going to be seeing me more often. So welcome to the channel, Spiritual Gangster, man. And thank you for the 28 subscribers. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be really Carson fan. I've been following this guy for maybe about a year now, but recently I just started posting shorts of him. All the stuff that has helped me in my own journey, in my own spiritual growth and evolution. Because, man, like, if you ain't like me or anything, you know, you're gonna come to the realization that you've been indoctrinated, you've been lied to your whole life, especially your religious beliefs, what your parents have told you. It's false, so it's a lie. You would think a Christian, like, no offense here, like I said, but it has to be told, man. You know, especially Christians, like, you would think that they're all peaches and cream and happy.
All religions.
Good, but I noticed that not all, but some or majority project, man. What does that mean, project? Well, they're projecting onto you what they've been told, what they've been told, what they've been fed, that narrative that if you don't listen, you don't obey, you're going to go straight to hell. And then they'll start to hit you with these verses of, because, like, for me, I believe in God. I believe in a higher source, higher consciousness, should I say, feel it, and I know it. But I don't believe there is a man up above with a magic wand, like Billy says, granting wishes. You know, a big beard and a guy just watching over us. I do believe in it, whatever you want to call it, source, the field, and you start to learn this as you awaken to who you are, your true self, like the real you. And you hear this word being told around the true self or the matrix, waking up from that. Like, what exactly? Well, you're waking up to what's been fed to you. By whom? Well, besides like I said, your family, your friends, and your environment, it's the 1%, these elite groups which want you to depend on the government, which wants you to rely on them and their sources, and just take out loans, go to school, work this way, this, and get yourself into debt. And by the time, like Dave Dash was saying, by the time you're 75, you can relax now. It's like, really? Is that really how life is? Is that really the way we're programmed? And like I said, like, there's going to be a time in your life that you're going to wake up. It's going to hurt so bad. What's going to hurt so bad? Well, for me, this is for me. Like, I woke up from a toxic relationship, an 18-year toxic relationship that it was not just the other person, it was myself. Like, I had to stop and reevaluate my own self. Like, what? Enough is enough. You get to that point of enough is enough. And you're going to start to question who you are, like who you are. And people find this in different ways. And you don't have to wake up to pain. You don't have to suffer. You don't. You can do your journey. There's many ways, by the way. And that's one thing, going back to talking about Christianity and stuff, is like, I noticed that, like, Christians really believe, like, it's their way and that's it. Like, this is it. And it's like, you have to be open to question. Like, you have to. Because if you just take what's told to you, like, I believe the Messiah. I believe Jesus walked. I believe he had the Holy Spirit in him, like, of the Creed.
Now, when they talk about that, Forget about that name, because that name's bullshit and stuff. We, the people, have the energy in us. We are the saviors. We can't do it on our own. We have to do it together. But we need to save ourselves, save our people together, united as one, in the same land, the same place, and work together. That's how we escape this matrix, besides waking up and forgetting about all the religions and all the crap we was taught, because they were all lies. We have to come together and start creating our own city. We have to come together, creating our own rules, our stuff, not theirs, and detach from them completely. And not this Mr. J stuff that he started to mess up on. He's starting to wake up, but some things people just don't know. All praise to our energy source that is in us and a part of us. Therefore, we are a part of it. And we need to not call on a him or her. It has no gender or a name or even give it a title. It's simply it. It just exists. And therefore, by saying that, we actually acknowledge it. And by acknowledging it, because it is a part of you, you're also acknowledging yourself. You're choosing it and yourself because it's a part of you. You are not choosing outside sources. When you learn to realize you're supposed to be choosing it and you, which is a part of you, therefore ultimately choosing yourself, which is best for your health, you break free of this matrix. Fuck beliefs. It's all bullshit.